Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're here on episode 48. My name is Lisa Espinosa. I am a priestess and spiritual coach. The focus of my work is your career, your service, the way that you're here to bless the world, right? So that's what we talk about in our weekly Priestess Rise Up transmissions. It's about remembering your sacred mission, remembering your unique gift that is yours to give, right? And so today we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about specifically your soul's medicine. So if you've connected with my work before, you know you've probably heard me talk about this. And if you're new to my work, welcome. And so when I talk about your soul's medicine, right? When I talk about your unique soul's medicine, what do I mean? Well, first of all, if we come back to soul, when I use that word, I'm talking about that part of you that is actually not a part of you. You're actually a part of it, right? Your soul is your true essence. It is the truth of who you are. It is your being that is eternally connected to source, to the divine, to spirit. The labels aren't important, but we do have to use words to communicate, at least right now in this moment. And so if the words I use aren't the words that resonate for you, so if you use the word higher self instead of soul, or true self instead of soul, that's perfectly fine. But I want to be clear that that's what I mean, right? That we're divine beings having a human experience. Yes, we have a physical body. Yes, we have a personality. Yes, we have an egoic structure, all of those things. But at our core, our essence is our soul. And so when I talk about having a unique soul's medicine, what I mean is that your you carry within you a unique blueprint, a medicine. Think about medicines that we use, right? They heal, they cure. And so you have a unique medicine, a blueprint, an elixir that heals. And this isn't about your professional training. That our professional training provides structure. There's a place for it, of course. But when I talk about your medicine, I don't mean that. I mean that, first of all, you were given gifts by the divine, not more gifts than other people. We all are equally gifted. The only difference is how we decide to express those, if we decide to express those, all of the things. So this medicine that you carry, nobody else carries it. It's like a fingerprint. Nobody else, even if they had the same exact training as you, it doesn't matter, because the way it will be channeled through you, the way it will be expressed through you, the way it will radiate through you is completely different. And so I shared earlier this week in my blog how, like, if you don't share it, like, no one else can. Like, the world just misses out on that. And so it's important to realize that with all of the problems and crises and polarity and all of the stuff that's unfolding in the world, there is an even more powerful call going out, right? It's calling to all the priestesses, like calling all priestesses, you know, like it's time to rise up and share your medicine. Now, if you're hearing this, please do not misunderstand. Of course, you've already been sharing your medicine. You're already doing that. But the thing with our medicine, the thing about the human journey is that in the human journey, we go through evolution. We go through the healing journey. We go through what appears to be time, right? Like there seems to be this like time when we're in our soul essence. We're just, ultimately we're just oneness. But here in the human journey, there is evolution. And so the way you could share your medicine 5 years ago is very different than the way you can share it today. And if you're in an accelerated spiritual path, which if you're watching this, if you're drawn to my work, you are on an accelerated spiritual path, then the way you share your medicine last week, yesterday, is different than the way you can share it today. Because what happens inside of us is that the trauma, emotional wounds, burdens, beliefs, all the things, they create these obstacles for our soul medicine to flow. And the image that I got today was really interesting. I was meditating and I was asking about this. And because I know for me, for example, for example, last week, I went and taught an in person meditation class, which I've done in the past. I don't do that anymore much, but I went last week. And so it'd been a few months since I had gone. And I could feel the difference standing there in a group, maybe of about 25 or something like that. I could feel like, whoa, my energy felt different. My capacity to create sacred space felt more expansive. So in this class, we chant mantras and I go around doing energy work, all the things. And I don't do this much more, but it felt right to do that last week. And so I could feel like, like what I was feeling was the expansion of my medicine. And it was so palpable because it had been months. And so I hadn't been in that same situation. And now that I could feel like, oh, this feels different. And so I'm sharing that not as a like braggy show off thing, but to explain like why was it different? It was because, whenever I went last, I think it was about 5 months ago. From that moment 5 months ago to the moment last week when I was there in class, teaching that class, I have continued to commit to my spiritual path, my healing path. And there's been so much inner work that I've done, so much continued work to love myself and respect myself and heal the parts of me that still hold trauma and work with my coaches and my teachers and study and take action. Like all of the things opened me up, dissolved. This is the image that I got. I had this image when I was meditating about our soul's medicine of these little like balls inside of us, like balls of energy. And these balls of energy were like dark, hardened traumas or wounds or codependency or programming or outdated beliefs or, you name it. And they were calcified, but inside there was all this golden light that was little like capsules of our soul's medicine. And so I was like, whoa. So even though I could feel like, okay, our soul medicine flows through us, there's also places where it doesn't. It's like part of our medicine is held in these solidified debris of all the things I listed. And so as we commit, right, as we commit to being the student of our soul, of our inner journey, our inner healing, those hardened clusters dissolve, and then more of your medicine is available to be shared with the world. And so that's how it works. It's like, that's why it is our responsibility when we're here on this path, when you have a deep prayer to be of service, when you have a deep prayer to bless and heal the world and be blessed in the process, then it is our responsibility to continue to mentor with our soul, to continue to surrender to our soul's wisdom, to continue to do the inner work that we need to do. And if that involves professional help and support, then we do that. I offer long-term coaching. So, what does that mean? Is that when somebody hires me as their spiritual coach, I walk with them through a journey because that's what this path is about. It's a journey. It's not like, it really is not a destination. I know that sounds so cliche, and I used to hate that expression because I was so attached to the destination that I was like, don't tell me it's a journey. I want to get to the thing where I want to get to. Until I learned that, okay, they're right. It is an ongoing journey until we merge back with the divine. And I'm sharing that because often when we have a prayer, such a big prayer to be of service, when we have a calling, right? When we're called to the priestess path or the shaman path or the wellness professional path or whatever path, however, your medicine can be expressed in a completely unique, different way. That's totally fine. We tend to focus on like, what are the action steps? What's the external thing I have to do? And yes, there will be action steps for you to do. Absolutely. However, if you truly want to create transformation, those action steps must be informed from within. Those action steps must be expressing your unique medicine, not somebody else's, not what you think the world needs to receive, but your unique medicine, your unique gifts to give the world. And so I was so delighted when I pulled a card after I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about this. The card that I pulled for our group today was Medicine Mother, Honor Your Inner Knowing, which I was like, oh my gosh, that is so perfect. Because one of the biggest blocks to sharing our medicine is not believing in it, not believing that your medicine is important or necessary or unique or essential. Sometimes we don't even recognize what our medicine is. It was so interesting because recently one of my teachers was talking about tangible and intangible factors. I mean, I don't need to go into all of that, but it really, something in her conversation brought to mind how when I was young, when I was in grammar school, I'm here in Chicago, so I know there's people who watch us from all over the world, but here in Chicago, it's the schools, at least I attended, it was kindergarten through 8th grade. So when I was in all of that schooling, they would have talent shows, and I hated it. Whenever that came up, whether it was a school talent show or a classroom talent show, and kids would be like, oh, I'll play an instrument, or I'll do a dance, or I'll do something physical, and I'm not judging those things at all. Like, those things are great and beautiful and important and necessary and could absolutely be part of someone's medicine. But I didn't have those kind of talents. And I didn't have anything tangible. And it was really, I was like, so I had this belief for a long time, well, I'm not a talented person. I can't draw. I don't sing. I don't dance. I don't play an instrument. And I remember the teacher saying, well, what are you good at? And I think I've shared this before. What I would think is like, what do people tell me I'm good at? And what would people, even then at that age, what other kids would tell me I'm good at, some of them, was that I was a good listener, which sounded like the most boring thing ever, honestly. Because I was like, what am I going to do up on stage? Listen? And of course, that's exactly what I do now. Right now, I know, like, oh, wow, that is a big part of my medicine, to be able to listen and listen. And it's an ongoing development and refinement, right? To listen without judgment, to listen without projecting, to listen without all of the things that get in the way. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I do that all the time, but that is part of my medicine. So that's an example of how sometimes your medicine, it's so close to you, or it's so not something that's valued, and that's not, that our society, our modern society might not validate, or you might have not had validation of it growing up, that you literally might be blind to it. You literally might think, well, I don't know. And I know when I coach my clients, there's so many clients who will, are wellness professionals. Most of my clients are wellness professionals or spiritual teachers or body workers or however they're serving. And they're desperately trying to figure out, okay, what's my purpose? What's my unique contribution? What's my medicine? And it's coming from this fear that they don't have it, or that they already expressed it, or this is often what it is. It's the same as everyone's. Like everyone has, or so many people already have this medicine. Why is mine important? All right, I've shared this example many times. When I wrote my first book about, answering your inner calling, about following your soul's calling, I mean, there's like a million books written about that, right? So that was like a real loud voice in me at the time, like, who cares what I have to say about this? There are so many people who've already talked about it. They're so smart. They've done it in such a great way. Nobody's gonna care. It doesn't matter how I say it, all of that stuff. And so I had to go through a whole bunch of mud and gunk, and I had all those calcified, how I started those calcified wounds around me that I had to process and go through. Honestly, that was the hard work of writing that book. It wasn't so much the writing, it was all of the unworthiness and self-doubt, all of that that was getting in the way of me just like accessing the medicine that was flowing through me. Because yes, there are hundreds and thousands of books written about what I wrote about. And that's okay. We need hundreds and thousands of them. I wrote it, it came to me through me in a unique way that it couldn't come through anyone else. I'm not saying the best way, but a unique way that's needed. Same for you. Whatever your medicine is, it comes uniquely in the perfect way through you. That is how you become the answered prayer. I wrote that in my blog this week as well. It's like you have a prayer to serve, to heal, and you have other prayers as well. And the world has a prayer, and people have a prayer. And when we say yes to this path of the priestess, of channeling unconditional love to the world and to ourselves, then we are, in essence, saying we are committing to being the answered prayer for humanity, not from a narcissistic, egotistical place, but from a place of true divine service, from a place of understanding that actually that's the only thing that could bring us profound joy. Because becoming the answered prayer requires us to heal it all up inside so that medicine can flow through us unimpeded. And that feels amazing to us. That feels glorious. That feels like relief and ease and joy. And it feels tender and vulnerable and strong and all of the things that are the best parts of being human. And so it's so interesting. So even though we might have resistance to sharing our medicine, the truth is that ultimately it's the only thing that can bring us true joy. It's our function here on the earth. So, with that said, what I want us to step into is the ceremonial space to connect, to listen, and see like what aspect of your medicine is like the image I'm seeing again is those calcified spheres, globes, and like they're breaking open like an egg opening because that aspect of your medicine is like wanting to burst. And so we're going to step into ceremony to be with that, to see, okay, what is that? What is that aspect of my medicine that is being ready to burst? And when we gather together, we can support each other, right? We can support each other in that expansion. And so let's go ahead and close our eyes. Take some nice cleansing breaths. Bring your awareness for a moment to the earth underneath you. Bring your awareness to your heart. And if it helps, you can bring the palms of your hands over your heart as I'm doing, or you can just rest them. And with your awareness in your heart, welcome your beautiful soul. And we're going to ask your soul, we're asking our soul, your soul, to turn on the light inside of you. To turn on the light and direct your third eye so that you can see into the universe that is within you. And in this universe within you, you start to notice all these beautiful stars of light. There's a galaxy inside of you. All these stars that are radiant, they're radiating all this medicine and love and light out into the world. And as they're radiating it, you recognize, like, oh, all of these stars represent an aspect of my medicine. All of these. And you also start to notice that there are some places where instead of stars, there's these like floating, dark, hardened, almost like rocks, like meteors, right? Like hardened, calcified, dark stones. And as you look at those, your soul draws you, guides you to one in particular. Maybe you only see one. And even though it's very dark and calcified, you can still see, like, oh, it looks like there's a little light inside of it. And you recognize that, oh, that is an aspect of your medicine that is being birthed, that is being released. That's a better word. It's being released. And this darkness, this calcification, this rocky surface that's encompassing it represents something old and outdated that you no longer need. And so I invite you in this moment to ask your soul, beautiful soul, show me or tell me, what is this? What is this darkness, this calcified energy that has been blocking this part of my medicine? Show me what that is. And we're going to take a moment in silence just to listen. And then ask, how do I release it? How do I dissolve this energy that is blocking my soul's medicine? And now it might have already been happening, but if not, just visualize with your soul's help this darkness, this hardened shell starting to dissolve in light as the star within it starts to just get brighter and more radiant, brighter and more radiant, brighter and more radiant, brighter and more radiant, until that solid shell just dissolves in light. And so see this medicine that has been released and now is being expressed through this beautiful star within you. Let it shine and radiate, whether you know the details yet or not. Feel now your whole body illuminated from within, radiating out this beautiful medicine out into the world. Your own unique medicine. And feel the world answering, receiving it, grateful. And now just thank your soul as your soul thanks you. Feel the earth under your feet. Feel your body as we bring the palms of our hands together. We bow to each other and our own heart. And we close this ceremony with a namaste. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. And so, whether you received any guidance, any specific guidance, and if there's anything you want to share in the chat from that experience, that ceremony, please do so. I love reading your experiences. My hardened shell, what I saw was what I heard, and it was like kind of slimy, which is kind of gross, but was self-doubt. That's what I heard, that it was like, oh, it's like calcified self-doubt. So that was really interesting. And yeah, I received other important guidance. That is really important for me, I'll have to tune into. And so remember that when we do these ceremonies, whether you received a lot or you didn't receive a lot of clarity, it will come. Our soul has its own timeline. So sometimes it's like, oh, here is the answer right here. Or sometimes you'll just get a feeling, and later when you're doing the most mundane task, the whole answer will come. All right, so trust that. And so hi, Destiny, good to see you. If anybody else wants to share who they are, I would love to know who you are. A couple of reminders. If you're in the Chicagoland area, Sunday is my women's retreat. It's really a day for you to step away from your everyday routine and connect with your soul, listen to your soul, nurture, clear, and receive activations and teachings. I'm delighted to be doing that. So there's still a few spaces, a little bit of spaces left if you want to join. I want to read. Oh, your internet kept cutting out, Mary. Okay, well, definitely listen to it again tomorrow. Concern about my well-being and sovereignty. Yes. Yeah. So I think, Destiny, you're saying you're concerned with your well-being and sovereignty. So really, yes. So stepping in with your soul and talking to your soul about that, right? Because our soul is sovereign. Our soul is what's going to guide us to where we'll receive that healing. Hey, Suzanne, good to see you. So glad you're here. And so remember the card for today, Medicine Mother. It was Mother's Day here this past Sunday in the United States. I had a very emotional Mother's Day. Oh my gosh, it's like my soul was like, we're going to bring up a whole bunch of stuff so that you can heal it. It was not fun. But it was definitely a healing initiation. And so I'm just going to pull a card here for everyone, just a group card. And this is going to be about your medicine. So I'm going to ask that the soul of everybody watching live or watching in the replay, that through this card that I pull, it bring you a message about your unique medicine. Okay? So we're going to do that right now. Remember also, I'm being reminded that Friday is a new moon. So it's a perfect day for you to tune in and step into the dark womb of the mother. right? Let yourself receive the seed for this next cycle of growth. I also want to say, I keep forgetting to say, if you are interested in exploring the possibility of doing long-term coaching with me, I do offer a free consultation. You can go to my website, lisaespinosa.net, under free consult and read all the details there. I would love to talk to you. And my clients are from all around the world. So we will figure it out. Destiny, I'm sending you love and blessings. And I would really, guide you to tune in to Mother Mary and have her send you the message directly into your heart. So, all right, here we go. All right, what is the message for everyone here? Oh my gosh, I think maybe I pulled this before. Soul Radiance, Phoenix Rising. Look at this. Look at that. And remember what I said, that this would be a card, an additional message about your unique medicine. So we're rising up like the phoenix that we are. I feel like this image represents, when we're fully, like when all of those hardened places are dissolved and our medicine is just like radiating, right? It's just, we're just walking like this through the world. And, we are human, we have a human life. So, of course, we're going to have those challenging moments and those moments when we forget. But more and more, this becomes the default. All right, lovelies, thank you so much. I cannot wait to connect with you. Oh, and I do want to say, I know many of you are not in Chicago. Next week is the Mother Mary Planetary Healing class. Destiny, that probably would be a lovely thing for you to do if you're really feeling her. And it's going to be all about like mothering ourselves. This is not about, it's not going to be a conversation about our mothers. This is like the energy of the divine sacred mother, really the medicine mother, like this card is saying, and how Mother Mary can help us heal up whatever wounds need to be healed so we can embody the power of the divine mother. Like that's what it's going to be about. So that's next Wednesday. That's $33. And then Friday is a free master class. And I will be having a raffle again that day. All right. Bye, everyone. If you're not joining my mailing list, if you're not part of it, sign up. I will put the link on the description. That is the best way to stay up to date with everything that's happening. And y'all know I'm going on a pilgrimage to Ireland and France in a few weeks. And you're all coming with me, like in one way or another, because whatever I do, whatever healing I do is not just for me, right? It's for all my clients and students. It's for the collective. All right, bye, everyone. Sending you so much love.